watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. And a few weeks or months ago, a while back, we met a fascinating man named Brian Taff. He is the CEO of a company called StreetSense. They are a global creative company that focuses on design, marketing, and consulting. I loved meeting him and learning about this company. And today we have Larisa Ortiz. She is the managing director of public nonprofit solutions for StreetSense. Larisa, welcome to America Trends.
Thank you, Mary. It's good to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. I really was so fascinated to learn all about StreetSense and all of the things that you do in opening up these developments for where people can go and hang out, but then also do the branding side of it and the creative side. It just was totally fascinating and up my alley. So I would really love to hear more about what you do in the public nonprofit sector.
Sure. So I'm thrilled to be here, and our team is really a special initiative within StreetSense that focuses on applying the services and the consulting tools we offer to our public and nonprofit clients. So developing policies, programs, and strategies that create places that people want to live, work, and play. And what's important about that is that, our streets are public, our parks are public. The zoning frameworks that inform real estate development is all about what the public sector does and doesn't do. So we focus on that element of place.
Wow. I mean, definitely what you're saying, it's like you're talking about the parks and everything. And I think, yeah, that's all public property, but it's so important to everything else, and where developments are really inform where then buildings that are for profit want to go up, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing the public sector can do is set the stage for great investment, right? Build the streets, build the infrastructure, set the stage for what it is we want the private sector to do. So I think, I always think about this, in great places are public-private partnerships, ultimately.
Now, tell me, I was reading that you talk about 6 pandemic trends that affect where we work, play, live. I know you talked about transportation revolution happening even more than a digital revolution. And so I want to talk a little bit about how that plays into what you really focus on with the nonprofit sector.
Sure. We're now year 2 in the pandemic, and understanding what COVID is going to do to places, I think, is really critical. So we conducted, a 3-month literature review. We reviewed hundreds of articles, research papers, and data points, and we really distilled it to a few key takeaways. One, it is not work from home. It's work from anywhere right now. And the truth is, we have what's a transportation revolution disguised as a digital revolution, right? When Zoom is a substitute for in-person, that's about changes to transportation. It's about our need for, or lack of need for, transportation moving forward. So there are going to be winners and losers. The office market is going to contract. That's going to help some people. It's going to hurt others. Some cities stand to benefit, others don't. So I think that's a really key takeaway. Transportation plays such a role in helping businesses make decisions, helping people determine where they should live. All the elements of commerce and economic development really emanate from our transportation, our access. So that's really key. And then I think, ultimately what we saw during the pandemic was, neighborhoods really thrived. Long-term resiliency was really dependent on where residents were. If residents weren't going to work, they were staying in their neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods and those businesses actually did okay during the pandemic. The small
businesses that were getting people doing takeout and hanging out there with places where their kids could walk to, right, where they didn't have to go far and be around a lot of people, or they could, the outdoor cafes. I mean, I'm in California, and so San Diego, we were ripe for all sorts of sidewalk cafes, and it was perfect during the pandemic, which I feel like we're still in, like you said, year 2.
We are.
So how can businesses and cities set themselves up for success here with all these changes of working from home and working from anywhere?
Sure. One of the things we looked at, what will it take to create a great city? And one of the things we noted is that there are people who still want to, that are hungry for sort of in-person engagements. And I think in some ways it starts with Gen Z. this is a generation that's most likely to be single early in their careers, and they sometimes don't have the financial means to create proper workspaces in their homes. So they want to go to work. They want to put on their casual best and meet friends.
Casual best. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's me today with my Rizzo t-shirt.
I love it.
And my,
I
my
love
blazer. My business casual. But so
Yeah,
yes, go ahead.
No, and I just joke, sex will save the city. Yeah, people still want to connect. They want, these young people want to date. They are the future labor force, and cities that connect with and create great environments for labor are the ones that are going to continue to attract economic development and growth. So, it's sort of fun to think about that, but it is. We want our cities to be fun places, and I think that's an important part of the strategy.
So I'm going to segue off of that really quickly, because I do know that you guys worked on a big project in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that was a COVID recovery, rapid recovery program. And that's part of what you did also in the nonprofit sector. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So we just completed what is probably the largest COVID recovery planning program in the nation, the Rapid Recovery Program for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And at the very beginning of the pandemic, they received a call that $10 million was going to be spent to help cities all across the Commonwealth figure out how to respond to COVID, and to the pandemic. So what we did is we rolled out an enormous program that brought in hundreds of consultants and subject matter experts, and ultimately worked with 124 communities in the Commonwealth to create rapid recovery plans, which collectively now are informing what the Commonwealth of Massachusetts will be doing, what kinds of programs and investments they should be applying in these places with a lot of the COVID relief money that they received from the federal government. So it's so exciting for the first time, and I've been doing this for a very long time, we have statewide data about what's happening in downtown, what needs are in downtowns across the entire state that state can use to make really informed decisions about how to create great places. We've never had that before at this scale. So it's super exciting, and we've created a really interactive data dashboard. If you go to the Rapid Recovery website, you can find, we really think about this as a model for communities and for states all across the country.
Well, this is really important work, Larisa. I'm so happy that you were able to spend some time with us today. Thank you so much for joining us on America Trends. Make sure everyone to go check out streetsense.com. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into America Trends. We're here every night of the week, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. on Biz TV. Love having you with me. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.